Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Deja Wright.
And I'm Jameson Ruppel.
Today's show is a little different from the ones we've done this past semester.
Today we concentrate on two of our favorite things outside the realm of hard news, entertainment and sports.
Our class broke into two teams to put this show together, so I'm going to head off set so Jameson and his team can talk about sports for the next 10 minutes.
Thanks, Deja. We're breaking up in the sports segment up into 4 parts: grades, alumni, transfers, and finals. We start with the big news for California's Central Valley. This past week, the NFL draft was held at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. With the number 7 pick in the draft, the Buffalo Bills selected Josh Allen, quarterback from Wyoming. Allen was born and raised in Firebaugh, where he played high school football. He had 0 scholarship offers coming out of high school and wound up playing at Ridley College before receiving an offer from the University of Wyoming. Let's start with grades and see who passed or failed this draft. Our resident football player, Jakeem Fed, is in the loft with that. Keem?
Thanks, Jameson. Okay, I'm here with your grades for all the teams' drafts, or at least just the California teams. We start with the Chargers. Their first round pick was Derwin James, probably one of the best safeties to ever come out. There's comparisons to Sean Taylor, Eric Berry. He's very versatile. You know, he's got range. He plays safety. He plays linebacker. He goes to the D-line. They also added help for Joey Bosa with Uchenna Nwosu. They also I feel like they needed some wide receiver help. They added Dylan Kentrell from Texas Tech, but you know, I just feel like they need more help for Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Antonio Gates left. Mike Pouncey just returned, but you know, who knows what they'll look like this year. So you know, I give them a B. Then next you look at the Chargers. As we move on to the other city or the other team in Los Angeles, the Rams. You know, I give them an A for one big reason. Their off-season moves. You know, they added Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, Nakunamasu. I'm sorry if I messed his name up. I mean, it's a weird name, but they added some depth with their offensive tackle because Andrew Whitworth might be retiring soon. But that's really about it. They needed some more help to help Todd Gurley and Jared Goff out. But you know, we'll see how they do. They did pretty good last year. As we move to the 49ers, they turned their whole season around. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo came in, and now they just added Richard Sherman. And I also like the other DB they picked up, DJ Reed. He came out of here at Fresno State. He walked on before he got cut, you know, then went to junior college at Kansas State. But he came from Fresno State, you know what I mean? But I just like what they did. They also got the Mike McGlinchey. Sorry again if I messed your name up. I'm sorry, but he's the offensive tackle too. So, you know, they had to protect Jimmy G. But they got a lot of players that are risk and reward, you know, so we'll see how they do it in the future. As we look onto the Raiders, I give them an F. Blasphemous. I don't know what they did. I don't know what was going on. They didn't do anything. They lost Michael Crabtree. They traded for Martavis Bryant. You know what I mean? But who knows how he would do? He's always had off-season issues and things like that. They need to help Beast Mode. They need to help Marshawn Lynch. They need to help Derek Carr. So we'll see what they do. And that's your grades. I'm here to send it to Bobby Fallett on Fresno State Alumni. Bobby, take it away.
Thanks, Keem. Entering 2018, Fresno State was voted by fans to have the best alumni trio of current NFL, MLB, and NBA stars, with Derek Carr, Aaron Judge, and Paul George. Derek Carr is entering his 5th season as the Raiders' starting QB and could possibly become the Raiders' all-time leader in passing yards and passing touchdowns this season. If the Fresno native is able to throw for 4,119 yards and 48 touchdowns this season, he will pass Raider great and Hall of Fame quarterback Ken Stabler, amazing only in his 5th season. The other part of this amazing trinity is playing baseball on the East Coast. That's right, it's Yankees right fielder Aaron Judge. He continues to have great success. So far this season, Judge is batting .314 with 7 home runs and 18 RBIs. Judge recently made MLB history by getting to 60 career home runs in the fastest time. It only took Judge 197 games. The previous record was held by Mark McGwire at 202 games. And moving into the NBA to finish our trio is Paul George. Unfortunately, his season with the Oklahoma City Thunder is over as they got eliminated by the Indiana Pacers. George had an outstanding career in the NBA so far. In his 8 seasons, George has averaged 18.6 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. The big question now, though, is where will Paul George land this offseason? George will be a free agent. The most lucrative place for George seems to be Los Angeles, but I say, Paul George, come to Milwaukee. Fear the deer, that's my team. And that's the sports update for your Fresno State alumni. Now let's send it over to Jameson Rupel, Jesse Tejeda, and Sean Bradley, who are talking about off-season transfers.
Thanks, Bobby. We're all curious where Paul George goes because he's from Fresno State, and we want to see where our guy goes. This summer, some of the NBA's biggest names hit the free agent market. Paul George, DeMarcus Cousins, LeBron James, and DeAndre Jordan are on the open market and will either re-sign with their current team or look to sign a max deal elsewhere. All right, Jesse. So tell me, where do you think Paul George is exactly going?
Well, you know, PG-13, obviously one of my favorite players, Fresno State alumni, and I think he's headed for the bright lights in Los Angeles, man. I mean, the Lakers, they got a really nice young core there, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, even Julius Randle, and I think a veteran like him could go in there and change the franchise around the same way he did in Indiana there.
Whoa. I'm going to cut you off there, man. Game 6 against the Utah Jazz, the man went 2 for 16 from the field with 8 turnovers.
One game.
But if that's not bum status, I don't know
One
what
game.
is, man. I'm telling you, PG, his best days are behind him, man. I'm
No,
telling you
no,
that right
sir.
now.
One game.
What are
Look
you
at what he
talking
did in
about?
Indiana. He changed the whole franchise around. He could do the same thing there in LA, especially with the
Those
young
days
core
are
they
behind
got.
him, man. I'm telling you right now.
All right, guys, let's see. Okay, so if Paul George, depending on where he goes, that might, DeMarcus Cousins is also a free agent. That might see where he lands as well. Where do you think DeMarcus Cousins is going?
You know what? Even though DeMarcus Cousins had that ruptured ACL during the season, I think he stays with New Orleans Pelicans. I think he's a great asset to AD, the unibrow, man. They're both of them together, man. They're a tandem, and no one messes with that crew right there, man.
I think that's a great possibility also for him to stay there, but the Pelicans were fine without him in the playoffs. They swept in the first round, and with that Achilles injury, you're just never sure how a player's going to recover. So I think a good fit with him would be the Wizards, teamed up with John Wall like he was in college there, and I mean, that tandem right there could just do a lot of damage.
Okay,
in
but the
NBA.
big picture here is LeBron James. Depending on where he goes, kind of shifts the whole dynamic of the NBA. Where do you think LeBron's going? Is he staying in
The
Cleveland?
king.
That man's a king, man. He's the best player in the league right now, and there's no doubt about it. And I think it really all depends on the Cavs' success this postseason. If they finish off strong, maybe another championship, I think LeBron's determined to stay there home, Akron, Ohio, But if not, there's talk about him going to LA, teaming up with another guy like Paul George or DeAndre Jordan.
Hey, bro, I got a whole nother team for you. The Sixers, man. Many people don't think he'll pair up well with Ben Simmons, but I bet you those two right there are going to work together for another championship, man. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, DeAndre Jordan's also a big-time free agent. Does he lure LeBron to LA?
You know what? I think DeAndre Jordan, even though he's a big man for the Clippers, I think he may be able to go somewhere else, like Dallas. Team up with Dirk. Dirk's going to teach him some of his fadeaway tips. I think he'll be a good asset over there with him and Dennis Smith, everyone there too.
Maybe if DeAndre could actually learn how to shoot free throws, he'd get a lot more offers from those teams out
DeAndre
there.
kinda struggles with the
Brick,
free
man. Bricks from the lane.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on this summer's top free agents. Only time will tell where these big-name players end up. Time to send it to Bobby and Keem for an update on the upcoming finals.
That's right, Jameson, finals are just around the corner for students here on campus, and the sports world is gearing up for some finals of their own.
As we look at the NBA Finals, as they were saying, LeBron James is King James, doing King James things. He had a triple-double last night while only shooting 3 for 15 in the fourth quarter in overtime. But they won last night in Toronto over the Raptors. Also, Steph Curry returned last night in his first game since March 23rd with a knee sprain. He dazzled with 28 points as the Warriors took a 2-0 lead against the Pelicans. Elsewhere, Boston is up 1-0 in their series against the Philadelphia 76ers thanks to a huge performance by Terry Rozier. Tonight, James Harden and the Rockets look to take a 2-0 lead against the Utah Jazz tonight in Utah.
And Europeans' most elite soccer clubs compete in one of the most prestigious tournaments in the world. The Champions League tournament consists of 32 teams that play each other in a double round robin system. 8 group winners and 8 runner-ups advance from their groups into a knockout phase that culminates with the final match. As of yesterday, Real Madrid advanced to the finals for a chance to win their 3rd straight title. Earlier today, Liverpool joined them after knocking out Roma 7-6 on aggregate, and the two teams will go at it on May 26th to be crowned as the Europeans' best soccer club.
Wow.
We'll keep a close eye on how the rest of the NBA playoffs play out and look forward to the Champions League final on May 26th.
We send it over to Jameson in the loft for a Fresno State sports update.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to that Champions League final. But let's get to the Fresno State stuff. For the Bulldogs, the Diamond Dogs returned last night and went head-to-head with the Pepperdine Waves for a single game. This was a tough battle for the Dogs. Take a look. The Dogs' defense was strong last night. Catcher Carter Binns quickly snagged up a bunt and was able to execute a double play. But the Waves said right back at you and stopped the Dogs with another double play. In the fourth inning, the Waves got a runner in from third base after a ground ball was hit to shortstop Zach Ashford. Ashford tried to stop another run and forced the Waves into a pickle situation. The Dogs got the out, but had to react fast and weren't successful in taking out the runner at second. After the umpire called him safe, Coach Mike Batesel headed to the field to defend his Dogs. Unfortunately, they could not secure a win and took a 0-2 loss to the Waves. Fresno State men's basketball team snagged their first recruit for the next season, and he's a big one. New head coach Justin Hudson announced in a press conference the new player who will be taking senior Terrell Carter's spot as a center. Asane Diouf, a 7'1", 265 player from DME Academy in Daytona, Florida, officially signed his national letter of intent. Diouf has a 7'3" wingspan. All Coach Hudson had to say about his size was, "That speaks for itself." Coming up on this special edition of Fresno State Focus, we check out how Avengers is making history and hear what actor Chris Hemsworth thinks about it all. Plus, we find out how you too can become a screenwriter by adding one special class to your schedule for next semester. Fresno State Focus returns in a moment.
Success. At Fresno State, it's no secret. It's discovering new ways to change our world. It's creating opportunities as diverse as our community itself. It's in the distinction of our graduates as they lead us into the future. Success is no secret at Fresno State. It's our mission.
This is our Fresno State, forming relationships and learning experiences that last a lifetime, making friends who are like family, learning from professors who treat us like family, and earning a degree to make a better future for our family. Engaging our alumni generation by generation by generation. This is our Fresno State. Welcome to the family.
Hello and welcome back to Fresno State Focus. I'm Deja Wright.
And I'm Mitzi Cardenas. For all of you Netflix fans, Season 2 is now announced for 13 Reasons Why.
Netflix released a teaser trailer which revealed main characters would be receiving Polaroids this time around instead of tapes. The new season is scheduled to air May 18th on Netflix. I know I'm super excited about it because I watched the whole season in 2 days.
And I read the book, so I can't wait to see how they do Season 2. Marvel Studios' Avengers Infinity War is making history, earning over $250 million in the US and in Canada, the highest domestic debut of all time. Chris Hemsworth, one of the film's stars, reacted to the news. Check out what he had to say on Instagram. "Can't say thank you enough to everybody who continue to watch and turn up to support the Marvel Universe. What a dream it has been to be on this journey." Seems like Disney has been killing it this year in movies. 4 out of the top 10 grossing movies this year were produced by Walt Disney.
Coming in at number 1 is Black Panther, followed by the new Avengers Infinity War at number 2. The number 8 spot is held by Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and A Wrinkle in Time at number 10. The nominees are out for the 2018 Billboard Awards. Ed Sheeran, Kendrick Lamar, and Bruno Mars are in the lead with 15 nominations each. Tailing right behind them is Post Malone with 13 nominations and Drake and Cardi B with 9. The awards air May 18th on NBC at 8 p.m. Have you ever wondered about your favorite movie?
The actors, the action, or the writing? Adeline Quintana is here to show us the life of a screenwriter.
You talk about all of that, but what about the words that make you feel? Right. I talk with a screenwriter who wrote a film that made over $100 million. That can be you if you want, because a film writing class is offered here at Fresno State.
Edward Emanuel is a screenwriter, and this is one of his scripts that he sent out. He started in Los Angeles.
In 1990, I started working on an idea for a screenplay about little kids and their grandfather as a martial arts. I did a lot of martial arts, and I wrote it out. It's called Three Ninja. And I gave it to a friend of mine who had become an agent, and he sold it for me, and that was my first big film.
That idea was bought by Disney Touchstone, and Three Ninjas made over $100 million.
I'm here at the Speech Arts Building, and behind me you can see many awards that are to Edward. He actually teaches here at Fresno State, and you have the chance to take a class from an award-winning professor.
What I really like about his teaching is that he doesn't just lecture us how to do things, but he shows us movies depending on what he's teaching. If he's teaching us about idiosyncrasies, he specifically chooses movies where the two characters are completely opposite.
She has been writing scripts in class and enjoys taking the class. Edward encourages students with valuable information like submitting, registering, and a list of free agents to motivate students on writing.
There is a real need for writers. It's amazing what a shortage there is now, and that's why you see so much replica of things that have already been done.
Edward is currently working on a film that will be in productions this summer in Chicago. Some money Edward gets from teaching, he donates for scholarships.
So right now, Edward is actually working in production in a movie in Chicago, and he ghostwrites right now. So it's actually really, really cool.
I'm kind of disappointed I didn't take a class with him, and I'm about to graduate.
I think I'm going to look into that next semester because I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's toss it over to Matt Broughton over at The Loft.
Thanks, ladies. So I am Matthew Broughton here with your colorful entertainment segment. So viewers, what do you get when you mix food, music, and some drag queens? Well, BINGO, or bingo, of course. The first annual Drag Queen Bingo event happened in Visalia over the past weekend. People played bingo, earned raffle tickets, and even had snacks and watched live drag performances. For event host Priscilla McNamara, this event is something long awaited.
It being the first Drag Queen Bingo here in Visalia, I must say it was a good turnout for being what it was. And I'm so glad we not only got people from Visalia to join the party, but we also got Fresno, we got Bakersfield, we got, those other cities, surrounding cities that really can't or won't have the opportunity to experience that. They were able to join us and, definitely making it a party.
McNamara says the party will continue next year as the event plans to come back to the South Valley. So continuing on this drag queen themed colorful segment, many performers give back to their fans through charity or through awareness. Here in Fresno, 4 local performers are using their talent to help children find a comfort level with books. Paul Hernandez, Joseph Maciel, and Willie Redmond are getting ready for a special day. They're drag performers, and today is Drag Queen Story Hour, an event aimed at educating children. This is something for Redmond, also known as Deja Sky, that he feels is raising awareness.
Well, first and foremost, we are doing this for the community. We're not doing it out of personal gain. We're literally doing it out of the kindness of our own hearts. At the end of the day, we're sitting down and reading a book to a child. That's all it is, no more, no less.
In its second year, Drag Queen Story Hour is bringing those children and their families to Bitwise Industries. With over 100 adults and children here at Drag Queen Story Hour, people are not only learning about the drag queens themselves, they're also learning about a common space. And that common space is reading. A reading event like this is extremely important for parent Tracy Cisneros and her daughter Audrey.
My daughter walks around being an advocate for anyone who needs one. She is the stand-up girl. If you don't have a friend, she goes to be your friend. That's my kid. And it's because of stuff like this.
And stuff like this, from the queens to the location, is only made possible because of Samaritans like Justin Kamimoto.
So we chose drag queens that really are known as the community queens, the ones that have a good reputation in the community and the ones that really are giving back in such a unique way. All of the ones that we got here today are kid-friendly. They know how to interact and engage with families, and they know how to camp it up in a kid-friendly version way.
And in this friendly story, there is something we all learn. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. If you missed this year's Drag Queen Story Hour, don't worry. You can watch the stream on the Bitwise Industry YouTube channel. With all the latest drag information and the colorful entertainment segment, I am Matt Broughton. Back to you, Lindsay.
Thank you so much, Matt. I really enjoyed those stories. Now let's go see who has a really cool job with an opportunity to be a bulldog. Soon-to-be graduate, Alyssa Hans is looking for another worthy bulldog to pass down her keyboard to. She says all you need is the love of writing, a desire to keep students connected, and of course, that bulldog spirit. If interested, simply bring your cover letter, resume, writing samples, and fall semester schedule to USU 316. Some of the incredible things students are doing on campus are staff members at the Bulldog blog, and even us here at Fresno State Focus. But others like to take a front seat, like entrepreneur Allison Valines. She chose not to write about it, but to do it.
Wait for opportunity to knock, or open the door to opportunity yourself. Months ago, Allison Valines chose the latter, launching her very own fashion business, majored in sorority.
It started out with my hat business was like the root of it. And so I honestly started DMing, texting all of these people, following all these people, saying like, hey, spread the word, spread it through the Greek system that like I'm starting a hat business. And then from there, I was able to get people that really wanted my products, that were interested in my business. And once you start something, they're like, hey, do you have something new?
And new was what they got. Allison's brand includes shirts in several styles and patterns, as well as hats, stickers, and buttons. In order to promote her merchandise, Allie teams up with her best friend and fellow business owner, Maddie Gonzalez, to do local photo shoots.
I'm here on campus where Allison met one of her best friends and biggest supporters, Maddie Gonzalez. And right behind me is where some of their iconic photo shoots have taken place.
So I asked if I could bring it back with me, and since I've done that, we take pictures whenever we can. We love to go shoot around Fresno. We've gone up to like Yosemite. We just love to go to like the funnest locations and just shoot for each other, which is super fun because she can always tell me like what's the best pose and whatnot.
And like, school's going great. And he was like, that's great, Allie. Just make sure you don't major in sorority and that you go to class. And I instantly was like, majored in sorority, that's hilarious.
Whether Allie's designs stay a local trend or end up in a major boutique one day, she will always be the girl who is brave enough to go for it.
If you saw any of Allison's garb or gear that you liked, you can request your own in any size, color, or design at treychicforchic.com.
Yeah, I always see those majored in sorority sweaters around campus, so I really think that's a neat idea for people who are in the Greek system.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
And they're actually not just for people in the Greek system, like anyone can have them.
I was gonna say, I'm not in a sorority or anything like that, but I want one.
Right? Cinco de Mayo is around the corner and everyone is wondering what to do. Well, you can start your Cinco de Mayo off bright and early in a fun fiesta-themed run. Webster Elementary in Madera is hosting a 5K run to raise money for their school. Not only will runners receive chips and salsa at the finish line, but they can stick around after to enjoy food from various vendors. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. at Liberty High School.
After a nice long run, you can go out and enjoy some delicious food at Los Panchos Cantina and Patio Garden opening. The restaurant is unveiling the newest addition to their spot on Fulton Street with a Cinco de Mayo celebration. Doors open at 2 p.m. and will feature live music and new specialty drinks as well.
Then there's a party going on in the alley between Broadway and H Street and Inyo and Mono Street this Cinco de Mayo. Everything from food trucks to art vendors, live music throughout the alley, and 2 full bars with seating can be found inside the Broadway Center. This runs from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. and is free and open to all ages.
And finally, you can end your weekend at Cinco de Mayo at the fest on Sunday. Radio station La Buena 101.9 is hosting a Cinco de Mayo concert that will feature mariachi and band music at the Regional Sport Complex. The music begins at 2 in the afternoon. The official after party starts at 10 at Aldo's nightclub.
That sounds like fun.
You guys can see me at Aldo's nightclub.
Yeah,
we'll be right back.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head. Up in my head to say. I got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit. Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart to stay.
I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, down in my toes, down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, hey, down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart, down in my toes. I got that bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart, got that bulldog spirit.
With this being our last show of the semester, we'd like to show you a few of the fun things that happened along the way.
It's never easy when we do stand-ups, but the key for us is to make sure we always have fun with it.
As for every hopeful that walks through this career fair, there's blah, 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 blah.
This is the game. This is blah, 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 blah. Start over.
Not only does Grandpa's have the only cotton candy treat, cotton candy.
Bitwhite Industries is helping drag queens relay information.
A cork in the screw? Wait, hold on.
Where do you want to take your pictures? Fountains, peace gardens, yada yada, and it's not just yada yo yada way hoo. That's just fucking yeah.
With over 100 adults and children here at Drag Queen Story Hour, people are not only okay.
Go.
And this is where the final step. Oh damn, hold on.
I'm glad none of my mistakes made it in there.
Yeah, none of my stuff was in there because I deleted it right after I shot it.
Thank you for joining us this semester.
We learned a lot about time management,
The truth,
persistence,
getting the facts,
how to feel comfortable up here,
how to ask questions,
how to write quickly and conversationally,
the power of social media,
and First Amendment rights.
How natural sound can powerfully tell a story, and how teamwork is a key success. Happy graduation to those in our class who are just about done with school.
And here's to those looking for internships. Good night.